Good morning. Well, it's your afternoon, isn't it?
Is, yep.
So, everyone, this is Lindsay Harrel. If you haven't seen her face before, Lindsay Harrel is the author of, how would you say, women's fiction with kind of romantic threads? Is that kind of how?
Yeah, that's usually
Yeah.
usually how I describe it. Yeah.
So her latest book is called The Joy of Falling, which just released. There we go. Look at that beautiful cover. And for those of you who don't know, that is New Zealand on the cover right there. It's partly set in New Zealand, and I was very lucky. I got to read an early version last year, so that was super fun. So, Lindsay, where are you?
I'm in Arizona, in Phoenix. So it's about 1:15 in the afternoon. My kids are currently, hopefully, napping. Hopefully they stay that way or doing quiet time. So
And I'm 8 a.m.
on
on
Friday.
Saturday. Yeah, so I'm Saturday, you're Friday. My kids are
Mm-hmm.
all up on their screens. My husband is still asleep. So if yelling starts outside or a child bursts in, that could happen.
That's life.
Yeah, it is life. So happy.
Yeah, I'm currently sequestered in my bedroom. This is why I have a lovely white background because there's like nowhere else for me to be. My husband's in his office where I usually try to film stuff like this because he's working. So
Yeah, I know. Like we talked about, I'm in like our downstairs spare room slash junk room. So like there you go, readers. Look at that. That is the very carefully Instagram curated look beside me.
right.
So we are talking a little bit about authors and life in lockdown or shelter in place wherever they are. So do you want to kind of tell people a little bit about what's the situation in Phoenix and what your life is like now and how it's different to how your life was before shelter in place came into force?
Okay, so in Arizona, we don't have as many cases as like some of the other states, and they went into lockdown kind of before we did. Ours is, I think we have a stay-at-home mandate or whatever, but it's not as serious as some other places. Like some other places are mandating you wear masks or that you could get pulled over or fined. That's kind of not happening here. They've kind of just said, stay under 10 people, and they basically go out just for groceries and medicine, doctor's appointments, that sort of thing. So we've been doing it since, I think the official order was like April 2nd, although all the like restaurants and movie theaters and all of that closed like St. Patrick's Day, so March 17th. So the places are still doing takeout and stuff like that. But yeah, we started staying home because we kind of saw that March 14th, so just the weekend before. And I figured, well, I might as well potty train my almost 3-year-old. So I did that. So yeah, I mean, I was kind of putting it off because I kept thinking like, okay, well, I don't have time. There's no good week to just stay home for a whole week to potty train. So, well, now there was.
You got
Yes. So how is life different? So I stay home right now with my 2 kids. I have a 5-year-old and now a 3-year-old. He actually just turned 3 this week. And so I've already stayed home. So my life is a lot the same in terms of, I mean, I'm still home with them. It's different because my husband is now working from home full time, which is kind of nice in some ways. But it's also, just different. And I used to get 1 day a week where my mother-in-law would watch the kids for me. So that's kind of, I'm mourning that day where I have the house all to myself. But my husband has been really nice about on Saturdays, most Saturdays, he's given me several hours to just go write or do some, be alone, have introvert time.
Is it tricky for your kid's dad being home but not being home at the same time?
Yeah, he's an attorney for the government, and so he's allowed to work from home a couple days a week normally. So he's done that before, so he has a lock on his office door. So at least they know like dad's locked in, like I can't get in, and they don't usually bug him too much, but they're loud, so he definitely doesn't get as much work done, I don't think, from here. But he doesn't have his hour-long commute each way, so that's nice. He just got back like 10 hours of his life a week, basically. So yeah, I mean, it's different because I kind of would go out most mornings, like all morning long. We would go do something. We would either have Bible study at church or go to the gym or go to a playground or park or whatever. I'm thankful that the weather is nice right now here. It's spring. It's been in the 70s. It's starting to get a little warm, actually, in the 80s or so. But we have a backyard, so the kids have been able to play outside, and I've been able to go for walks if I want to, although I should go more, but been trying to get a lot done. I feel like I'm cooking all the time, though. Like, that's one thing that's super different. I don't know if it's like that for you, but we didn't eat out a ton, but definitely a couple times a week. And so I feel like my son this morning, he's eating breakfast, and he said, "Mom, when lunch? I'm hungry for lunch." I'm like, "Child, you're eating breakfast. Like, stop asking me what's next for meals."
Yeah, I mean, we're the same. Like we like the amount of food that we are going through when we're all at home is just bonkers. I'm pretty sure my children have 6 meals a day. Like I came downstairs yesterday morning from a meeting, and our nanny, thank goodness we have her, she's saving our life at the moment. She was having a morning tea, and my eldest was like, "I want 2 sandwiches, and I want a banana, and I want some ham, and I want some cheese." I'm like, that's lunch. She's like,
yeah,
you know, he'll do more at lunch. I'm like, what is happening?
I know both of my kids, I end up having to make them like a second sandwich, or at least half a sandwich, like, so 1.5 total each every day for lunch, plus cheese and fruit and tomatoes. And I'm like, thankfully I don't really have to think about lunch for them. I pretty much feed them the same thing every day.
Every day.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Here we go. Bit of routine. It's all good for people.
Yeah, that's what I say.
I'm doing a lot more baking. That's what I've found. Like kind of every Saturday morning, I'm baking something with the kids. Because
nice.
like you, we used to go out a lot, especially on the weekends. And then suddenly when our lockdown got announced on, that was March 23rd, you know, you kind of just watch, like, birthday parties gone, extracurricular activities gone, play dates gone, everything gone, and you're like, okay, right. So there's a lot of time now that we got to find a new way to fill in.
Yeah, and we were supposed to go on a cruise that we had been planning for a while, so that was a bummer. We had to cancel that, obviously. It was because we haven't really had a vacation, just the 2 of us, since a couple summers ago, so we were looking forward to time away, just the 2 of us, and that didn't happen. And then because that was like supposed to be like March 28th or something, so all the cruise lines shut down before that.
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to, we've been planning a move, like just here in Phoenix, like to a different house, and so this is the week we were going to put the house on the market. Obviously not happening now, just because well, I know there are people still putting houses on the market and moving, but I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to be without a house and a yard right now and in transition. And yeah, so
you don't necessarily want a whole bunch of other people coming through your house to look at it either.
Yeah, that too. And or going to other people's houses to look at houses to buy or something. So yeah, we kind of put a stop on that for a little bit. Hopefully that'll pick up in the summer or fall, but who knows?
Does your stay at home kind of have an end date at the moment, or is it undefined?
April 30th at the moment, but other states are extending it to like middle of May, I know, around here. And they've already declared that the school year is like kids aren't going back to school, because our school year ends like May 18th, 20th, something like that anyway. So it'd be like the kids would go back for 3 weeks or so. And my son's not in school yet. He starts kindergarten next year. So it hasn't really changed for me in that way. But
yeah, one of my friends who's in Oklahoma said to me the other week, she's like, congratulations to me, I have my kids till August. I'm like,
yeah,
whoa! Like our school year runs February to December, so everyone is like, all right, when can we get our kids back to school? Come on. especially our winter will be kind of closing in June, and so the idea of people have been stuck in their houses with their children 24/7 all of winter is a pretty unbearable feeling, it'd be fair to say.
How cold does it get there in the winter?
It doesn't, so where I am, which is in Wellington, it doesn't get super cold. So like it snows like once every 4 years maybe, and then it's not like real snow like you guys know about in the States.
Not me. Phoenix.
No,
I was like, not Phoenix.
Definitely not Phoenix. But it just gets cold and wet and windy and just pretty much
not good playing outside weather.
Not good playing outside weather at all.
Gotcha.
So we need to be able to be moving again before then. So you have, in the middle of all of this, had a brand new book baby release.
Yeah.
In the world. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's going and kind of how you've had to pivot into things a little bit differently.
Yeah, so my book released April 14th, and it was supposed to be, I believe it's in Target stores, so I was super excited about that. I was going to do like an entire contest around like, go find it in your local Target store and take a picture with it. Well, that didn't happen, obviously. And yeah, just getting the word out. It's been interesting actually, because I do find that a lot more people are on social media, it seems like. So I've gotten a lot more interaction, I feel like, on some of the like stuff that I've done. I did a Facebook Live chat with another author, Janelle Soselski, the other night, because we had the same release date. And that was actually pretty well attended. I think 50, 60 people came and chatted with us and stuff. So that was fun. So it's just been like trying to find ways to connect online for people. And I found like a lot of other authors are super willing right now to help each other out. I mean, they always are, but especially right now, so a lot of people have shared about it and stuff. So it's not been bad. It's just an extra challenge. I mean, people financially are hurting, so who knows how that will affect book sales and all of that. But I just kind of am like, it's in God's hands, and I don't know. It's interesting because this book is about two widowed sisters-in-law who run an ultra marathon in New Zealand in memory of their husbands. And so it's largely about grief, healing, finding joy in all circumstances, which is very, I feel like, relevant right now. So it's kind of funny that, I mean, I didn't know that it was going to release during this time, but God did. So it's kind of what I keep saying, like, I don't know. I mean, it's always out of our control, right? Like all that stuff. All we can do is just try to connect with people. And, I mean, I don't be all salesy right now, especially like people are hurting, people are grieving, people are having a hard time. So I'm not like, buy my book, like just trying to just share like in an authentic and genuine way about, hey, I've got this book out there, and if you need an escape, if you want to travel via book to New Zealand, and
no planes are coming here anymore.
Right. So hey, travel via book, so yeah, it's been okay. It's just different.
Yeah. So controversial author question: do you read your reviews?
I don't want to, but I'm guilty. I especially am like, like see them racking up or whatever, see them like, oh, more people reviewed it today. It's so tempting. I know I shouldn't do it, because when I read a bad one, it puts me into a tailspin a little bit. But so I try to hold back, but I don't know. What about you? Do you read yours?
I used to so I kind of used to I guess look at kind of the first 50 or so when every book released, just to kind of get a sense of what was, I guess, landing for readers and and what wasn't. I'm one of those weird authors who like actually doesn't mind a few 1 or 2 star reviews, because it kind of shows readers that it's not just your friends and family reading the book and raving.
Oh, that's true. Totally.
But last year, when One Thing I Know released, it kind of released it little did I know to kind of what ended up being just this really hard time for our family. So the week that it released, Simon and Schuster laid off my entire publishing team. So that was bananas. And then like within really close succession, we lost a really close friend unexpectedly, and my sister was diagnosed with cancer. And then kind of in the middle of all of that, I very foolishly saw a 1-star review that I read, and like normally they don't bother me, but this one kind of it kind of, I guess, took a hit at me personally as an author, and so that was really hard. And it was just in the middle of a whole lot of other hard as well. And so that Start With Me, that releases in June, kind of to me feels like a little bit of a miracle book, because in March last year, when I said to people that kind of I was putting writing aside because all of the other stuff that our family was going through, I honestly like didn't see myself writing another book for years. So the fact that I have this book that's coming out in June, kind of against anything that I'd ever imagined, feels like a little bit of a miracle, well, a lot of a miracle to me. So I'm hoping that I will have the courage to kind of just put it out there and let it be what it'll be, and hopefully people and readers love it, and if they don't, then that's cool as well. But yeah, I'm gonna do my best this time to step back from the stars. So we'll see.
It's hard because you don't want to like you don't want to get in your head about stuff, and I think I start comparing myself, or I start thinking I should have done that differently, but it's like, well, it's landing with all these other readers, and this one, and I've had some very gracious ones who are like, this one wasn't for me, but I like her other stuff, or like, the writing was good, but I didn't like, or whatever. And that's the thing, I think about my favorite authors, and not every single one of their books resonates fully either. It's not like I love every book they write, Yeah.
So. And sometimes a book just hits you at a particular place in a particular time that makes it really meaningful for you. And then you might go back and reread it again a few years later and be like, oh yeah, it's really good, but like it's not resonating the same way because I'm just in a completely different space in my life.
Totally.
So I think that it is tricky, because you do the best that you can with every book, with what you have at the time, and all the other things that you've got going on, but you also don't want to close yourself off to feedback in ways that you can improve. So
right
it's a balance.
I know.
So what are you working on something new now?
Yeah, well, I just finished writing another Christmas novella. I know it's like really early for that, but I, was kind of just in the mood to do it. So that won't release until September, October, but that's off to my editor. I'm also working on something kind of new for me. I'm experimenting with writing a few like just straight romance novels that I'll probably indie publish. Yeah, so I've written one of those, and it's like shorter, so like I think it's 50,000 words. So just trying that out, and then I'm putting together a proposal for another split time book. So we'll see if that takes off, another women's fiction kind of similar to Secrets of Paper and Ink, my book before this last one. So
awesome. How did you find kind of writing a shorter book?
I'm not sure how well I did with it. It's with a beta reader right now. It's weird because I feel like in some ways I'm like, oh, it's not complete, but I'd already written a novella. So, but this one is just different too for me because I've never actually written a male POV before. Yeah. So all my other books are all women, it's women's fiction. So this one was just interesting and different. So it's kind of a nice challenge, to write something new and different. But it was nice because I finished earlier. I think I wrote the whole thing in like 5 weeks or something.
Wow.
So
it's amazing.
Wow. It's shorter than normal. It's like half the size of one of yours. So
Yeah, I've just worked out I just really don't seem to be able to tell a story in less than 90,000 words. So, two final questions. What do you miss most right now, and what is keeping you sane right now?
well, I miss a couple. I mean, obviously, I miss time with friends and family. I do miss my Fridays, where my mother-in-law watches my kids all day, and I just have the house to myself. And I miss date nights, going out to restaurants, and getting away from the house, going out to movies, stuff like that. And what was the second question?
What's keeping you sane right now?
Probably a routine really has been, I mean, I stay, during the day, during the morning, my kids will play and I try to get a little work done, and then having like quiet time, nap time still established is a good, working time for me. And then my husband and I have been doing lots of like movie marathons in the evening. So tonight we're, I think, on movie 7 of 8 of Harry Potter. So
Oh, nice.
we've already done Lord of the Rings and Avengers. So I think really the whole thing, it comes down to having something to look forward to. I find that that's like super motivating for me. So whether it's the weekend, like, okay, we've been doing like make your own pizza and a movie night on like Friday or Saturday nights. So just having something fun, I don't know, to look forward to, I guess.
Oh. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who are watching, I'm going to give away a copy of either The Joy of Falling or Secrets of Paper and Ink, which is Lindsay's split time book that was released last year. So leave a comment and tell us which one you would like. And thank you for your time. It was super fun.
Thank you for having me. It was really fun chatting with you.
You're very welcome. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.